All three of Virginia's top officials are now under fire following racial and sexual allegations against them. Meanwhile, a group in Letcher County is hoping lawmakers will change their stance on casino gambling to help move a big economic development project forward. And we have video from the scene of a Clay County crash between a car and a bicycle.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 4:31 on Thursday, February 7th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for joining in to Mountain News This Morning. It has been a wet couple of days, but the temps have been nearly perfect. Let's toss it over to Brandon for a better look at what to expect today. And Brandon, we are still in a severe weather alert day.
That's right. Not to confuse people, it's actually 5:31. Will's trying to be on Central Time this morning, but yeah, the rain is still coming down, and it's coming down heavy in some spots as we head out the door this morning. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you can see, especially out there toward I-75, back up into parts of Jackson County, Rockcastle County, Laurel County, and into Pulaski County, heavy bands of rain, even some lightning and thunder there this morning. Flood watch continues until noon for most of the area in eastern and southern Kentucky, and that's where the heaviest bands of rain fall. And we've got this flood warning down there for Claiborne and Campbell until 5:45. I do think they'll let that expire because the heaviest bands of rain are north of there right now, and reports of anywhere from 2 to 3 inches already falling there in parts of East Tennessee. Water rescues going on down toward Knoxville this morning. Visibility is rough, so please give yourself plenty of time as you head out the door. And again, remember, pooling water on the roads, if you hit it at a high speed, you're going to hydroplane, so be careful with that as well. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Out the door forecast, we will see some breaks in the rain at times, maybe even some sunshine, and that will allow us to soar into the 70s before the cold front comes through tonight. I'll have the rest of the forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Will?
From 72 to 66 in 2 hours, Brandon. That's incredible. Thank you. Well, it all started with just the Virginia governor embroiled in scandal. But less than a week later, 3 of the top Democrats in the state are battling for their political survival. CBS's Mark Liverman has the latest.
Awful week for Virginia.
An understatement from Virginia Senator Mark Warner, with 3 of his state's top leaders under fire. Just days after Virginia Governor Ralph Northam admitted he once wore blackface, the state's Attorney General Mark Herring revealed he did the same. Herring said he and his friends dressed like rappers at a college party in 1980. He added, "I have a glaring example from my past that I have thought about with deep regret in the many years since." Just hours after Herring's admission, a woman accusing Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax of sexual assault put out a detailed statement of her claim. Vanessa Tyson says at the 2004 Democratic National Convention, what began as consensual kissing quickly turned into a sexual assault.
The Senate will come to order.
Fairfax presided over the Virginia Senate yesterday, but otherwise avoided the public. In a statement, he said, "Reading Dr. Tyson's account is painful. I have never done anything like what she suggests."
We are screwed, and we need to replace them.
A growing number of Virginians are fed up.
Because whether you did it in the past or you did it now, it shouldn't have been done in the first place.
And at what point do we say, okay, let's move forward?
Northam denies being in this photo from his own yearbook page of a man in blackface and another in a Ku Klux Klan outfit. If he were to step down, Fairfax is next in line, followed by Herring and then a Republican. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
Now, last night, the Washington Post joined the growing chorus of resignation calls against Northam. The editorial board wrote, quote, "His governorship has been irredeemably wrecked by the self-inflicted, racially callous and clueless mess he has made in recent days." Now, here in our Commonwealth, Kentuckians from across the state rallied in Frankfort yesterday in support of marijuana legalization. The rally was the result of 2 days of lobbying lawmakers for greater cannabis access. Renee Muncie traveled all the way from Leslie County on behalf of her nephew who has epilepsy.
I'm here for him. He's not able to attend today, so I'm here for him and anyone else who's not able to travel today.
4 cannabis bills are currently filed in Frankfort, including one for medical marijuana. Governor Matt Bevin previously said he would never allow the legalization of pot in Kentucky. Well, Kentucky's Agriculture Commissioner is working to set the Commonwealth apart in the booming hemp industry. Commissioner Ryan Quarles says lawmakers will be introducing a bill to keep with federal hemp compliance. Quarles says more than 1,000 farmers are now registered to grow hemp. He says he wants those new to the industry to have the financial help they'll need to get started. Commissioner Quarles also wants legislation to ensure when meat that comes from a laboratory hits store shelves, customers will know the difference between that and meat that comes from an animal.
And I think most Kentuckians would rather have a steak that came from an animal, including myself. And so we're going to make sure that we have a resolution that helps protect the marketing side and differentiates between traditional meat that comes from four hooves versus something that comes from a lab.
Now, lab-grown meat is still years down the road, but Quarles says he wants to be prepared before it hits stores. Now, here in the mountains, developers have been working since 2016 to bring Raven Rock Casino Resort to the city of Jenkins in Letcher County. Because Kentucky state law currently bans gambling, now both parties must wait for lawmakers to make a decision on the gambling expansion bill before any further steps are taken. Raven Rock Entertainment CEO James Hibbets says this industry could create nearly 1,000 jobs with an average pay of $50,000 a year.
Horse racing's been a part of Kentucky for over 100 years. It should be a natural progression for the state legislators to pass the expanded gaming law bill.
Developers say the casino and hotel's gaming floor is projected to be 50 to 60,000 feet. They plan to include an auditorium for musical entertainment and an adventure park. Well, we are still gathering information this morning about a crash involving a bicycle in Clay County. It happened Wednesday night on US 421 near the Right Quick Market at Burning Springs. We are told the person hit was riding a bicycle. Officials on the scene say the victim, who has not been identified, was seriously injured. The road was closed for a while but is back open this morning. One person is recovering this morning following a Perry County crash. It happened on Highway 451 about a quarter mile from Highway 28 in Chavies. So we are told the car went over a slight embankment. The victim was taken to the hospital. We do not know how bad they were hurt. A rockfall in Johnson County led to a crash last night. Crews with W.R. Castle Fire Department say a car was not able to stop and hit the rock on US 23 between Christian Way and Witten Lane. The southbound lanes were closed for a while but are now back open. One person was taken to the hospital, but we do not know their condition. While the road is clear, firefighters say be careful. More slides are possible. Well, jailers say they are cracking down on the statewide issue of inmates sneaking in contraband into their jails, something they say is a constant struggle. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to Bell County jailer Gary Ferguson about the issue.
It's an ongoing struggle, and it's one that you really can't let up on any at all at any time.
Bell County jailer Gary Ferguson says he is constantly on his toes as inmates try to smuggle contraband. From
cell phones to, illegal drugs, methamphetamine, I mean, it's just, types of pills. We probably have confiscated, I would say, in the neighborhood of 20 to 30 pounds of tobacco in 4 years.
And trying his best to think of new ways to prevent any access points.
Monitoring our phone calls and looking out for contraband being dropped off within the facility or around the facility at all times.
And Ferguson says part of keeping the drugs out includes installing 120 new cameras, soon covering even more angles.
In order to help us combat the ongoing, problem that, not just this county has, but every county in the state and actually every facility in the United States.
Fighting to keep their jail contraband free. In Bell County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Ferguson says they will also be pursuing charges of anybody trying to help bring anything into the jail. Well, a new item at the Jackson County Detention Center is giving both men and women at the jail another option for work release. A new sewing machine purchased with the jail's commissary fund will allow inmates to sew and repair and build mattresses. Jailer Brian Gabbard says this is a win-win situation because this will also save the jail thousands of dollars they would otherwise spend on new mattresses.
We decided, looked into it a little bit farther, and found out we could buy our own machine. And we don't have a lot of work programs for the female inmates. So we decided that'd be a good program for them and save money at the same time. So they get work credit for that.
Now, Gabbard says they only house around 25 female inmates, but there was only one other work release program prior to the sewing machine. Back to Perry County now, where a man is behind bars after deputies found stolen license plates and drugs. Deputies with the Perry County Sheriff's Department arrested 21-year-old Brian Dale New on multiple charges. The license plate on the car he was driving was stolen. They found an additional stolen license plate in the car. They also found 3 small bags of meth, 11 syringes, cooking spoons, and tourniquets. New is in the Kentucky River Regional Jail on multiple charges. Well, wild weather continues to affect most of the country this morning. We will take you to the hardest hit areas.
That forecast here at home continues to stay soggy as well this morning, and some folks could be dealing with some high water, especially south. I'll track it all out for you in a few minutes.